Welcome to another episode of Jets Afterburners here in New York Jets Stand 16, Liam. And again, we humbly welcome one of the best entrepreneurs, motivational individuals of our lifetime, the great Gary V. Gary, thank you so much for making this possible.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. And again, this comes off the heels of a devastating loss last night. Again, as Jet fans, we expected more. We're 2-4. I don't see the season lost at all. Again, we've been in worse situations in our franchise. Again, 2002, we started off 2-5. We won the division. Most recently in, 2009, we were at 7-7, and we took that team and went to the AFC Championship game. We have to get in sync. And I think we win the next two. We're 4-4, and the whole trajectory of this team goes in a different direction. Gary, what are your thoughts, man? And again, we appreciate you coming on with us.
The insanity of me deciding to do this at 7:30 after the Monday night game, as back to optimism, as if it would be a celebration, is 42 years of this, and I still surprise myself with my thoughts. We're 2-4. The season's not over. It's really hard to get excited to go to Pittsburgh against that defense, against how well coached and, more importantly, disciplined that football team is. We also have the Texans in like 5 minutes because this fucking league puts us on prime time in every scenario. Yep. I mean, we're banged up. I mean, Chuck Clark, DJ Reed, went out in that game as well. Mosley's not 100%. Jermaine's obviously out for the season. Reddick never fucking signed. Can't stop the run. Like, if you're really paying attention, like, honestly, I don't know if anybody remembers that Raiders-Jets game where they ran the ball fucking 20-something times in a row. I literally thought Buffalo was going to consider it. I would have done it. I think it was poorly coached. I think, why wouldn't have you? I'm not. I was going to go to Pittsburgh. I'm not going. I got home 5 hours ago. So, yeah, I'm definitely worried. I mean, this is me Monday or Tuesday morning, 5 hours after I got home. I'm sure by fucking Thursday, I'm going to say Justin Fields this and fucking that. But, I mean, is anybody excited about watching Watt line up with our Hall of Fame left tackle who, I mean.
Would you make the change, Olu? Would you just say, all right, you know what, as Ulbrich, the new head honcho here? And say,
no, definitely not. Olu, definitely not. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to judge Olu playing out of position at right tackle, but he struggled. I think our run game was better for a reason. But yeah, man, that was a devastating loss. That holding penalty on the fullback dive to Braylon, that just took everything out of me. I just don't know. I mean, listen, I'm really proud of what I'm about to say. I don't like to talk about refs. I think Aaron said it best. I mean, I've been asking for a roughing the passer penalty that looked like a Brady call because I'm like, look, we finally have a fucking legend. We surely got one. I mean, that is, as bad as it gets, that roughing the passer call on Rodgers. But I was thrilled, obviously. So obviously, I can't then counter with, how do you call fucking holding on a halfback on a fucking fullback dive? You don't have enough time to fucking hold. It took 100th of a second. So we could beat Pittsburgh. I don't see it. I really don't. I really don't know how the fuck we go there and win that football game. And then 2-5. I don't know. How the Texans are going to be tough. And we're not going to catch the Dolphins at the right time. You can already smell it, right? You can smell that we're not going to catch those games. We're now 2.5 games behind Buffalo. We got to beat them at Buffalo now. That fucking piece of shit Dawkins, fuck him, by the way. That guy's a piece of crap. What a 100%. Piece of crap. What a fucking piece of crap.
Well, now we're going into Pittsburgh. Now, hopefully, we're Tuesday here. If there's any way we trade for Devontae and Reddick is in the building by the end of the week,
If you're a yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, if those two things happen, but if you're a responsible GM or owner, we should be sellers. Now, look, I grew up a Yankees fan. Luckily, I'm raising my son as a Mets fan because once my teams win, I get weird. So I grew up a big Yankees and Rangers fan, but they won in 94 and 96. So when my son was born, I knew he was going to have first cousins, both boys that were 6 months older and younger that were going to be big Met fans. So I decided to raise him a Mets fan. And, it's not lost on me that they should have been sellers at the trading deadline, right? And here they are. So I say that to a fan base that's watching. It's probably 85% Met fans too. And so I get it. So of course, but fuck, man, do you know how bad of a shape we're in? Don't forget, a lot of the Jets, we're a little bit removed from it now, but to the credit of the Mike T and Rex and Woody, they mortgaged a lot to make those runs, and we had to pay the piper. We're ready. We're in a little bit of a curious spot here with our quarterback. We've got all 4 rookies. I mean, think about what you felt about Jermaine, Brees, Garrett, and Sauce. They weren't going to be able to sign all 4 of them to begin with. Right. Now it's all confusing. Jermaine's coming off an injury. Brees, running backs are tough to pay. I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, if I own the Jets, which is obviously my lifelong dream, I would call Joe this morning and be like, listen, we've got to see what happens in Pittsburgh, before we start trading draft collateral. And I mean,
Gary, I'm on the same wavelength, and I just want to draw a parallel here because Peyton Manning, first year, Denver, started off 2-3.
Yep.
Went into the playoffs. Tom Brady, I remember this distinctly. Yeah, I remember having a lot of Buccaneers fans and whatnot, and at the 5-5 mark, they started calling Brady washed. It's over. It's a done deal. What did we do? You know what? If we end up at 500 at the end of the season, it wasn't as bad. We're already used to it because Winston was our quarterback the year before. He threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Before you knew it, they won the Super Bowl. We're at 2-4, and I get it. They're calling me delusional, and I understand that. I get it. Shoot, I've been a Jet fan as long as you, like over 35 years and whatnot. But to me, you are at 2-4. The crossroads are this Sunday night. This is a playoff game. This is a playoff game as if it's 2010 all over again. Go into Pittsburgh and beat Justin Fields. You go there 3-4. Following week, you sweep the Pats. 4-4 changes the entire trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, we're fucking season. Yeah, we're tailgating at 3:00 in MetLife with our pumpkin spiced vodka shots or whatever the fuck people are going to. Yeah, of course. Yes. 100%. Yes. Comma. What tells you that this team is going to clean up its issues? Like, how many different head coaches do you want to go on the podium? I listened very carefully. We're going to clean this up. We're going to clean that up. Like, the team is just like, I mean, it's just unfortunate. But yes, of course. Like I said, I don't know why. By the way, on the record, everybody's watching. I'm like, I want to do this Tuesday morning. Because I appreciate you guys wanting to do this. And I was like, that's going to be the right time to do it. I promise you, like every other diehard, what this interview would look very different on Saturday morning, right? On Saturday morning, but man, we're banged up. Michael Carter, I didn't even mention him. Like our defense, to its credit for all the things it's just like we cannot have a healthy season. I don't understand this. I look back to those Rex, years. I remember when Jim Leonard got hurt in practice.
Yep.
Before the Patriot game, I lost my mind because we were so accustomed to being healthy. Right. I had forgotten as a kid. I mean, you guys, back to 35 years for the kids that are listening. We were 10-1 in '86, and we were the best team in football. And of course, the Giants went to the Super Bowl. They were undefeated at the time, I think, actually, or like right there. But God, we were good. And then we literally everybody got hurt. And I'd forgotten about like that. I was also 11, so I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. But we're just fucking hurt all the time. Michael Carter, at the end of that game, Michael Carter, Jermaine Johnson, Chuck Clark, DJ Reed, all out. 3/4 of your starting secondary. I mean, Will McDonough got banged up a little bit. I mean, this defensive line looks nothing like last year's. Nothing.
And we're so close, but we feel so far away. It doesn't feel like we're just one score away. It's everything we do is just so hard. So, Gary, where do we go from here?
You know what's funny is, I think we all agree, like, the offense was enjoyable to watch yesterday.
Right.
Move the ball.
Hail Mary.
Very, very few. I mean, the Hail Mary was ridiculous. I don't know if you guys do this, Jet fans do this, when you act like if you were a fan on the other side. I mean, when we scored that Hail Mary, I looked at my brother. I was like, man, if we were on the other side of this, if we're only up 3, I'd be dead. Yeah.
What do you remember the last Hail Mary completion in our history? I think the last one was Testaverde to Coleman.
Yes, we've talked about Marcus Coleman, me and my brother, and that. For some reason, it was funny when you asked me that. My brain went to Justin McCarron's for some reason. I mean, I remember when Justin McCarron's ruined Kalen Clemens' career by letting that ball go through his hands in Baltimore.
My God. Yes.
I still believe Kalen Clemens would be our quarterback right now if he makes that catch.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, man, it's really too bad. It's unbelievable.
But it's like
how winnable all 3 of these games are. That's what's a little devastating. And by the way, the Titans game, we're one dopey Will Levis play away from being 1-5. They go up 14-0 there. I'm not sure how we get back into that game. So look, it's not like we got 1 of the 4, but we literally went 1-3 in these tight games, and it's really, and 2 of them were at home. And the Zerline thing's a problem. I mean, listen, I think like every diehard, you listen to Ulbricht's postgame very carefully. Right. I hope he's joking or just wants to be a player's coach and like didn't want to throw him under the media. But if they do not bring in a kicker for tryouts today, I mean, it's grossly negligent. It's been obvious all year. Prior to the Denver game, it's in my Jets crew, we're obviously complete and utter maniacs. We've been worried all year. It was in practice in training. Yeah, exactly. Training camp and preseason. Like, and you know this. These guys, kickers are kind of like goalies and pitchers, right? Back to me not being all about baseball. When I found out like Walker Buehler, I'm like, Walker Buehler's good, right? They're like, no, he's lost it. I'm like, fuck, man. And Igor last year, like in the middle of the year, like these kickers go from like real good to real bad to real good, and like right now he's real bad. When I tell you my section, we always have, I'm in Coaches Club, we always have some stragglers, and they didn't know why I was freaking out every time. I'm freaking out when he's lining up for extra points.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I mean, I'm holding my breath. 0. I mean, it took me like a year and a half to trust Gibson on punts. It took us a little while to finally get someone we can rely on, and finally, like, it's a nice feeling to feel like decent when that ball's in the air. But now I got to deal with every fucking kick, and like, I don't know how we're gonna handle. I mean, if he's the kicker this week, I'm pretty sure we're gonna lose on a Zerline missed chip shot to end the game. We're gonna run back Doug Bryan. We're gonna miss 2 field goals in the last minute.
Well, that's why the switch was made, right? If we all concisely think about it, the change was made to bring accountability back to one Jets drive. And you have to bring in at least 2 guys and maybe even look at the trade wire. I know the
by the way, this accountability conversation is so ludicrous. Do people even know like how the players viewed Coach Saleh? Like
they loved
him. And he was and they didn't love him because he was fucking held them accountable. Like it's a silly conversation. By the way,
Sauce says he's still playing for him.
I'd love to hear what people would do. What do you want to do? Like Zerline, I get. I mean, again, he better have somebody kicking today. There better be somebody at Florham Park right now, warming up. But like, what do you want to do? Who are you gonna bench? Like I love when people talk in thesis. This goes back to entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more fun to be an employee because you can talk about everything you're gonna do. Boys, you guys are smart. Who do we want to hold accountable? Like, who are you benching? Like, like I'm dying to hear it. Yeah. Like, are we going to hold Garrett accountable for his first 3 games? Like, who are we holding accountable?
I mean, offensive line. I mean, a false starts. Right. All these flags going on.
I agree. Now I want the answer. Like, do you want like who do you want in for who?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you starting Olu for fucking Smith this week against Watt? I'd love to hear you say that.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so that's not happening. Right. Like, what do we? Who? Like what?
Rogers hasn't even been the biggest problem. Otherwise, I'd say maybe see what Tyrod has, but you can't even do that.
Rogers played his face off yesterday. Some of those passes, they were dimes.
The one to Lazard, that one nuts. That was crazy.
Crazy. And again, I could see some people saying, let's hold Lazard accountable. Fair. Against Minnesota. So what would have happened? We wouldn't have had Lazard play this game. He was one of the best players on the field for us.
Right.
These coaches know that. Like this I love fan bases and media, like accountability. Okay, who? Like just in English, tell me who you're gonna bench and who you're gonna start. Like you want Max Mitchell to start for Simpson? You're gonna put him on the inside? Like fine, like that means you know football, you're paying attention. Like, but I want to know who. I don't want to hear thesis. I want to hear who. Like, is it Mike Williams' fault he slipped? You know how open Mike was on that play at end of the game?
Wide
like,
open, man.
Is it his fault? Like, I don't know. Like I'm not mad at him. He fucking slipped. It happens.
It's true.
Like I just that's the part that I just want to know. Like, you know, like, okay, let's say you decided you got hurt, but you wanted to bench DJ Reed because he got 2 or 3 penalties. Like you saw what happens when Eccles goes in for Reed, and Eccles is a ball hawk, and we all love Eccles. I think we're all happy we have that depth. But you saw the passes in the 4th quarter that got completed on Eccles.
Right.
Yep.
Like Chuck Clark was a little bit annoying for some fans, I'm sure, early on. Didn't make that play in Nashville. But what? You want Ashton Davis to start for Chuck Clark? Because I think we saw what happened there. They picked on Ashton Davis the second he got on the field, right? And by the way, another really good backup by NFL terms, a guy who also darted and made a great runs play in that game. Like, I just want to know who in this miraculous game of accountability, like you want to bench Brees for Braylon because he hasn't been himself to the level we want. I thought Brees was very good last night. Obviously, every one of us wants him to score that touchdown. I get it. But the defense gets paid too. Did you see the angle the kid took? That was a really good defensive play. It just really was, unfortunately.
So Gary, where do the Jets go from here now?
Look, I think the point was made on the show. Like, you know, I can't believe the Steelers. Man, on the record, there's no reason for me to blast myself on this, but I'm just in full account. I'm in accountability mode. Man, was I on the Tomlin got lucky with quarterback. Like, I'm very big on the Phil Jackson rule, which is like, I mean, it played out for Belichick. Belichick's on the fucking clock next year, boys.
Yep.
Like, whoever he coaches for, he better fucking win because he's got a lot of seasons without Brady that looked he's got 1 playoff win in like 7 to 10 seasons without Brady.
That's right.
So I was very big on that with Tomlin. He shut me the fuck up. Kenny Pickett stinks. What he did with him last year. Now what he's doing this year, like, man, they're gonna have to beat this team. I don't know how. I really don't. I'm very concerned about Highsmith and Watt. They're gonna get to the quarterback. You guys know it. They're gonna get to the quarterback. You know it. So we better establish the run. We better really establish the run. And the defense is banged up, man. Michael Carter's hurt. Like, Hamstrings are tough. I don't know anything, but like I don't expect him to play. I have no clue how hurt Clark and DJ are, but it's tough, man. All right, my son's out. I got to go to school. Love you guys. Go
Man,
Jets.
thank you so much. Go Jets.
Yeah.
Later. Well, you hear it from an entrepreneur, right? And it puts a lot of things to perspective. Yes, we want accountability as Jet fans, but it's true. Who do you put for who, right? Who do you take out? You got Tyron Smith. You take him out for Olu. Now you cause division within your own squad. You bring a stud from Dallas and you bench him. So to me, it's like, all right, the solid move was made. Ulbrich is learning on the fly. And before yesterday's game, we're all throwing Dan Campbell out there, right? Dan Campbell, he has a lot of intangibles, this and that. He's going to be this, and that. But again, there's one thing that I can't stand. I got to be honest here. Is a coach celebrating a first down or a big run? It's like, if things don't turn the way they should, get a coach that's been there, done that. Like a Vrabel.
Is that what he was doing from where I was sitting? I mean, it was hard, kind of hard to see what the coaches were. Was he acting kind of like a Salah a little bit? I was trying to pick him out a little. See what Salah at the game, he always had like the white shoes. So I was like always able to point him out.
No,
he kind of blended right in, so I didn't really.
He had his play sheet, which was fine. Again, I'm not going to harp on the guy and whatnot, but the team expects something different now from a head coach, right? And the accountability aspect is now from the GM. What do you do with Greg Zuerlein? But my whole thing is, you have a head coach, you haven't done anything. So Brees runs for a big gain. You didn't score, but you're getting congratulations from the wide receivers coach. Good job, yeah. I honestly think, as optimistic as I am, the culture is the problem. The culture of, wow, where did that 20-yard completion come from? Holy smokes. Yeah. It's like playing Madden. Focus. I think the players look at the coaches and they want that leadership of stating, we've been there, we've done that, let's complete the task. Where did we ever see in the past 20 years of the Pats ripping us a new asshole, Belichick jumping up and down, fist pumping? Only when he won Super Bowls. That's it. Brady,
even then he looked a little upset.
Even then, Brady was the firepower, but he would celebrate after getting the job done. And I'm going to be very critical with Aaron Rodgers. I love the acquisition. I like it that it's all in, but the body language, I think that is one point that really is holding us back as well. So that we're nationally televised. We get you're frustrated. But man, dude.
Yeah.
Garrett
sucks. Yeah.
Sucks. Garrett, so he's going to feed off of that because we know that Garrett has it in him. I know they're passionate. But now the offensive line, again, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You get sacked and you start as a left tackle, as a center, as whatever the case is. I'm like, screw you. Again, we're still in that playoff hunt, even if it's 2-4. But dang, man.
Well, you could kiss home playoff game goodbye.
Even that. Again, it's so early, and I get what Gary is saying. We're going to Pittsburgh. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be tough. But if we keep it close, we clean up this bonehead mistakes, and hopefully, Liam, we have a referee crew that has common sense. The crew last night, how do you call holding on these ticky-tack plays? And then you got the third guy from the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Those two are just constantly drunk. They're constantly, you can tell their eyes are super red, and when
They look
when
like
they
me right now.
right, when they focus on each other, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like when they focus on each other, they're smirking. They're like, I hope no one notices. They're completely sauced up.
Hey,
And then you got the other guy, the referee guru, saying, "Oh yeah. You could see how he's grabbing him and how this." And then he's justifying the roughing the passer. That's how you know these people are getting paid to just make anything up to be on the side of the NFL, no matter what. No matter what. That was the biggest BS roughing the passer call. And you had the guy, oh, yeah, it's because he was trying to rip the ball off and he put extra weight on him. Please. Like, no one calls a spade anymore.
No.
On TV. Refs, all these guys. I don't know, man. There's a lot of money involved in this. A lot.
So where I was sitting last night, the penalties were driving us nuts. And the guy sitting next to me, he goes, sports betting is ruining the NFL, and I've just about had it. And he got up and he left.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the fourth quarter. I believe there was a play. Now, again, like I'm just going off of memory. I haven't looked at the highlights or anything. And obviously watching it live compared to on TV is much different. I believe there was a play where there was like an offsides and nobody was even lined up yet. I'm like, what?
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was sometime later in the game. But yeah, these penalties are getting out of control. And, like the little crew I was sitting with, I was like, I'm 25 years old. I've been watching football knowing what's going on at least 15 years now, which is a pretty good sample size. I've seen,
Right.
I mean, trust me, I've seen bad football. I know what bad football looks like. I don't know what the penalties are anymore. I don't know what's a penalty and what's not. And I don't think anybody does. It's just kind of all left for interpretation with the officials. And I'm not one to ever blame the officials, but it's getting out of it's getting out of control, man. It really is.
Dude, the pass interference calls, to me, it's like, all right, it's up to the ref. It's up to the ref. Oh, he went like this to him. Flag. He's running side by side. There's no touching, but he turns around, incidental contact. Just, oops, flag. Then you have DJ Reed, and I forgot what other loser wide receiver they had on the other side. And they were fucking tussling. I'm like, all right, that's a flag. It's going to go either way. No flag. Nothing. No flag. So
and then all the offsetting penalties too.
A whole bunch of them. And that's why, I mean, I hate to bring this to the discussion, but you know what? It is a free country as of right now. The conspiracy theories. Like you said, you had a fanatic right next to you. Sports betting is ruining this game. Got up and left. Maybe he kind of felt what I'm feeling. What if it's a multi-billion-dollar industry? Roger Goodell is no dummy. He wants to make it worldwide. And if you can control the outcomes of games, I know a lot of people might tune out, this and that, but it's not far-fetched. This isn't your granddad's football where it was actually football. Where Ronnie Lott could deliver a hit across the middle as a safety. And that was a hit. Joe Montana getting blindsided by Leonard Marshall in the NFC Championship game. Hit, legal. This what happened last night. That's why at 2-4, having a legitimate quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, a lot of calls will go our way. A lot of them. Because again, it's storylines, right? They want the New York Jets in the playoffs. That's why there was a lot of plays there. I'm like, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't our quarterback, we saw last year, there's no way Zach Wilson gets those calls. There's no way. There's no way that they call a roughing the passer on that. Why? Because he makes money for the NFL. And it's blatant. And it goes for all sports. All sports. I try to have a narrative of being objective. But be honest, Jet fans and NFL fans all across. When you watch a game and you see calls like this, you don't wonder. You don't say, oh, well, yeah, that was a good call. No, it's controversial. And again, I remember about 10 years ago that there was a referee in the NBA. I think his name was Donahue or something like that. And he confessed. So, yo, dude, there's a lot of calls that as referees, they huddle up at the beginning of the game and they're like, we're going to pick on this guy. The referees do that. Now, before I segue it back to you, keep in mind how much referees make. I believe they make anywhere from 200 to 300 grand a year. And you might say, wow, that's a lot of money. But if you can find a way to make more by fixing games, you're telling me that you wouldn't? You're telling me that you wouldn't like to bump that $300,000 salary and under the table?
Yeah.
You get $1 million, 1.2. Keep this in mind. The NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, it's entertainment. Where else do we hear that? Where else in the sports world do we hear entertainment? Please, you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah. Yep. WWE.
It's entertainment. What
Yep.
you experienced, what we experienced last night, it's entertainment. So that's why when I see the team 2-4, and it's a matter of inches, that's all it is. Garrett Wilson making a catch in the end zone. You don't drop that. You catch it, shoot, dude. Not for nothing. The touchdown catch that he made was tougher than that one. Make it. Greg Zuerlein. What happened? And what about the Buffalo kicker?
Yeah. Bass.
see
He
the
missed one
miss?
too. Yep.
But did you see how badly he missed that one?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Professional kickers don't miss that badly. They don't.
And
don't.
I mean, I don't know if the wind was a factor, and I'm just speculating here at this point.
That
It was
bad?
windy as hell. It was windy as hell in there, dude. I'm telling you, it was cold. It was freezing in there. But I'm kind of glad that we segued into this because I said this walking to my, so I took the train. I got home like 3 hours ago. Like I'm shot right now. So I'm walking to my car with my girlfriend, and I said something I never had said before, and I hate saying it. I used the R word. I said I'm really starting to think it's rigged. I said I'm not one to blame the officials. I'm not one to, when you lose, you lose. We've seen plenty of Jet losses
Of course.
many different ways. They come, as we know, in many shapes and forms and sizes and everything else. There's a real big part of me that's starting to think maybe it is,
I hate to say that.
I
hate
do
to
too,
do it.
dude, because I care so much about it and it's so fun. And like you, I always try to be objective and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I try to understand where where was the penalty. And sometimes it's blatant, sometimes you see it. And
Sure.
then other times, I don't know if they were showing it on TV, but usually they'll show they'll just replay the play on the big screen on the Jumbotron. There was certain penalties that they didn't even re-show. And
Right.
there are certain ones that they did, and I didn't see any penalty. I'm like, where is it? I thought maybe they'd zoom in. So then I hop on Twitter. I'm looking for it. And I don't see anything. And I'm like, what's the penalty? I don't see the holding call, or I don't see the full. It's I don't know what a penalty is anymore, man. I really don't.
But isn't it? Don't you hold your breath? There's a pass, guy doesn't catch it, whiffs him by, or it's 10 yards out of bounds. And you're like, all right, that was uncatchable. And I remember growing up and I'm like, all right, there was no flag. It was instant. No flag. But now you have to wait 3 seconds. Why did it take the referee 3 to 4 seconds to think about it and then throw the flag? Why? Why does he have an earpiece on, which they all of them do?
Yep.
Who's talking to you through the earpieces? Who is it? I have no idea.
I don't know.
How's the game moving? Because the offense of the New York Jets yesterday, it seemed crisp. It did look good. It looked great. It wasn't predictable. And again, you have the ineptitude of Nathaniel Hackett out of the equation. He's still there, best friend buddies at lunch. Cool.
Yeah. They're going to grab some fish sticks today.
Yeah, totally. Dip it in liquid gold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? in cereal because it's the morning.
Yeah,
But-
right now they're having pancakes together.
Oh,
Couple,
what I'm saying, like-
you know, there's the coffee's brewing right now at One Jets Drive. It's 8 a.m.
you know what the good thing is about having Aaron Rodgers is that he'll call it what it is. Yes, this might go down in flames and whatnot, but he went after the referees. You do not have a lot of players calling a referee on a penalty that was on the other team to favor you. He said it. That roughing the passer call, that's BS. It's BS.
Yeah.
We took it. That's cool. But it's like Sandlot, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
no one saw it. Or did they see it and they just let it go? It is what it is. I just find Aaron Rodgers in this whole entire predicament as a fascinating player, enigmatic individual that will make this franchise better for years to come, even after his playing days. He's calling it what it is. Darkness retreat, whatever the case is, ayahuasca. The NFL they don't like him. They don't like him, but they know that he sells tickets. He sees a lot of people tune in. They want to see what he has. That's why this Sunday night, I see the Jets coming out of Heinz Field. That's what they call it, or right?
It
Still?
was Heinz Field. I don't even
Was
know
it
what it
Hellman's?
is.
It's Hellman's.
It might be, yeah. Inflation
Mm,
Field. I don't know.
Wishbone Dressing Stadium. I see them walking out of there 3-4. 3-4. I see them winning.
think they can, but you know what it is at this point. I don't know anymore. Like I don't know what to expect from this team, and like we were saying this all last week. You know, especially with the with the interim head coach, that we don't know what to expect. And besides the offense looking better, it looked a lot of the same.
You got it. You got to make a trade. It's Tuesday. It's the 15th of October. Trade for Devontae. Sign Reddick. Get those two guys in here.
Stop playing games.
Stop playing. Stop. Enough. And I can't stand. All right, you know what? We got to rebuild. At 2-4, you're going to start rebuilding. At 2-4,
you can't rebuild in the middle of the season. That's not possible.
What are you trading? The moment you traded for Aaron Rodgers, we asked for this. This is exactly what we asked for. We wish it was 4-2, but this is mortgaging your future. In an all-in season, because we don't know what happens in 2025, at 2-4, you want to salvage the season, because just like the Bucs, they were 5-5, and their Buccaneer fans, they were saying the same exact stuff that we're saying. We could have won that game. We got destroyed by the Saints. Damn, Brady he's not the same Brady. You got to hit your stride. You got to hit your stride. And at 2-4, get Devontae in here. Devontae is going to be our Jim Leonard for the secondary, our Bart Scott for the linebackers. Players that have been in that system and flourished. And many might say, oh, what about Lazard? Come on, guys. Lazard and Devontae, two different stratospheres.
Yeah.
Two different stratospheres, man. Get Devontae in there. Devontae's going to make Garrett Wilson that much of a better wide receiver. And you could see how quickly this season can be turned around. And I don't know if you've gone on Twitter just as yet, Liam. It's just...
I scrolled quickly.
It's a bloodbath. Like right now, last night I put like 2-4, absolutely sucks. Season's far from over. Don't throw in the towel just as yet. Trade for Devontae, sign Reddick, beat Pittsburgh and New England, get to 4-4. You're delusional. What did Gary say? They suck. It's over. They're garbage. The season is over, Dan. Devontae's not coming here. And it's time to admit Rodgers' experiment is over. So sick of this shit every year. Vinny had said that. They suck, dude. There's no fixing this. I'm not even going to say that. But it's totally justified. Totally justified. The narrative changes the moment they win Sunday night. The moment they're 3-4, heading into Foxborough, anything can happen. And don't give me the Texans are the Texans. The Texans.
We've proven that we hang in there with everybody we play. And there hasn't been a point this season where late in the fourth, you're down 23-20 or something like that. There has never been any doubt that Aaron Rodgers can't march down that field and put it in the end zone. He's done
Yeah.
it so many times. I don't understand what the problem is.
I don't either. I mean,
And I took the train, and so I'm sitting there like with some Jet fans and everything on the way to the game. And this one guy, he made a really good point. He's saying, I mean, we saw it last night, but besides that, he goes, how many deep balls have we seen? He goes, can we open up the playbook? Can we take shots down? Like, that's Aaron Rodgers. He takes shots downfield.
right.
I mean, we had the one Hail Mary that, like, I didn't even realize it was caught at first. I don't think anybody did.
Nobody did.
Even on TV, it didn't look like it was caught. But
I thought it was going to be an incomplete pass because again, that's another one, right? We don't know what a catch is anymore. When I saw it and the ball came out, I'm like, oh, that's incomplete. The whole Calvin Johnson rule. And then you see it in slow-mo and you're like, oh, okay, it's a catch. And then when Aikman and the other guy that's all boosted up, he's like, oh, that's a touchdown. And I'm like, all right.
They look like they should be sitting out there with us.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, they got the primary suite, man.
Yeah, somebody was like watching it like on TV, like at the game too, and I like look over to him. I said, "I'll go in there." It's like, I have a podcast. Like, I'll put the headset on, and I'd fit right in.
That's it. Yeah, not for nothing. Look at the schedule here. All right, we're 2-4. Season's lost. Not really. Going to Pittsburgh. It's not going to be easy. Hopefully, we win.
None of them are going to be easy. That's why I'm looking at even the give me games are hard.
And then because then this is the fun part, right? If you look at this is how quick things can change. Win against Pittsburgh and the Pats. That same week, Thursday night, again, another primetime game. We play against the Texans. At that point, you could be 5-4. You have 10 days to rest. Then you got the Cardinals. Then you got a Sunday nighter against the Colts. It seems impossible at this point. I'm not like in a space world or whatnot. I get it. It does seem impossible. It's the same old Jets syndrome over and over. Not losing hope. Not 2-4. All in year. I don't care about the draft picks. I don't care about. Give the Raiders the second rounder that they want. Go ahead. We're going to rebuild around a second rounder in 2025's April's draft. That second rounder is, oh my goodness, it's so glorious. Stephen Hill, Devin Smith, Elijah Moore.
Let's reel back in. Where's the second rounder from this year? From this past draft?
Where is it? Malachi? That's the third rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Malachi Corley?
Yeah. Where's our third round pick?
I honestly think, and I said it in shows past, he's going to be probably part of the deal for the Devontae.
Well, the reason I had mentioned that is, I mean, obviously Green Bay has their second round pick. It should have been a first, with the whole 65% rule. So we gave up our second round pick. The reason I said that here. We have our third round pick where we found quality, somebody that we all feel should be starting, and they can't even get on the field.
Mm-mm.
So these picks, I don't know if it doesn't matter. I don't know what the situation is, but
great point. Exactly. Great point. And they were texting, right? Wasn't there certain text between Saleh and Corley?
Yep.
Like, oh, we got you. Something like that. But again,
I mean, that's everybody though. I mean, when Zach Wilson was drafted, the whole, if you remember what Saleh said, we're gonna elevate you. So he's a sweet boy. He's a sweet boy.
You don't want to hear that when you're getting drafted by the Jets. What do you mean by that? Gonna elevate you from bad to really bad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
listen, man, it's Tuesday morning. Poor Gary V, man. I feel so bad.
When I saw him in the background, with his hood on, I'm like, oh, I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be one of those, huh?
You know what? Gary epitomizes all of us this morning. Whether you want to just go the route of we just suck and this and that. We're all dejected. We're just because last night meant so much to us. First place was on the line. When was first place on the line? This part of the season, what 2015? It's been so long. But again, I'm still going to be optimistic. I still feel the season is still not lost. It's all in. All in. I don't care about next year. I don't care about the draft picks. I don't care. It's the season is still salvageable. Get Reddick in here. He has a new agent, Rosenhaus. Rosenhaus does not want to lose money. No way. This deal gets done pretty quick. And Adams, I think Rodgers goes into Joe Douglas's office and says, trade for Adams and get us a new kicker.
Yeah, I mean, where are you going to get a kicker from, though? I mean, teams aren't giving up their kicker.
No.
To me, the kicker is the hard one because, I mean, like a receiver you could go trade for, quarterback. I mean, you don't really trade for quarterbacks in the middle of the season, but you could if you had to. A kicker, I mean, who's giving up their kicker? If you have a decent kicker, you're not letting them go, especially in the middle of the season. To me, that's the hard one.
Look at Tennessee. Tennessee's what, 1-5 or something like that?
Yeah.
They're rebuilding. Throw them a 6th for Folk. 6 and a 7.
I'd bring them home in a heartbeat.
Bring them home. You know what I mean? Folk hero. Bring him back. Ship Zerline out. You know what I mean? You give him a 6 and a 7.
What's Vinatieri doing these days? Let's go. Maybe we get Pat McAfee.
That's a kicker. Anyway, final thoughts. What do you think, man?
To be honest with you, I'm not saying all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm.
But, I really like the title that we had a couple weeks ago where the point of no return. I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. Because at some point, this team is just going to get fed up. And I don't know if we're going to start losing the locker room soon. I would like to think that we have a lot of high character guys in there to kind of prevent that. And that now the leaders need to be leaders. Now the captains need to be captains. Find a way, man. Every week we are right there. We haven't been blown out at all this season. Right. It's not, there's no garbage time touchdown or anything like that. It's what, and you know what? Zerline left 6 points on the field, so now we're talking 26-23.
Yep.
We could always point to one thing, and I knew it. The second he missed the first field goal, I said we're going to lose by 3.
Right.
So I called it, and I'm not happy about that. Like, it's not something I wanted to, be right about, but
right.
We've seen so many of these games where we just know that we know a crucial mistake that's going to cost us the game early in the game when we see it. And I knew that was it. And, like I had said, it was very windy there. But you know what? This is MetLife Stadium. This is why you go get Aaron Rodgers. He comes out with his little beanie on yesterday for the coin toss.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers plays in the cold. If you're going to be a New York Jet, MetLife, the weather conditions suck every week. I'm surprised it wasn't raining. It seems like all it does is rain in that place.
Right.
And it did. It rained it rained yesterday morning. So it does rain there every day. It's like little Ireland over there. But find a way, man. It's not going to be easy. You're not playing in Miami.
Nope.
Figure a way, figure it out, way to get it done. Do I have faith going into Sunday? I mean, I'm sure we're going to touch on this more on Thursday, but no. Honestly, I don't. And I don't want to be negative about it, but you know what? Prove me wrong. I would love for nothing more than to be wrong. So prove me wrong. But I'm at the point now, where it's like, just show me. Let's see it. So that's the point I'm at. Sorry if that's a little negative.
No. It's not. It's realism. We all want to be shown. We're done with the Jets on paper. They're great. The Jets are amazing in the offseason. Oh, this draft class. Oh boy, this is going to be a good one. Joe Douglas really nailed it. But when push comes to shove and the regular season is at hand, you need to win these games. You have to, and you're not.
Yep.
We're at 2-4. We're in an enormous crossroads. Win against Pittsburgh. Season's not lost, but it's getting really close. With that, fellas, thank you so much for watching here. Big, huge thank you to Gary V and his team. Wow, man. The team is out of this world. You want A-class, squad there, franchise. And we hope in about a matter of 10 to 12 years, he becomes the owner of the New York Jets. With that being said, thank you, Gary, for coming on the show. And Liam, big ups, man, for going to the game yesterday.
I'm done for the year. I mean, I think I'm going to the Seahawks game, but that's it.
Well, maybe I might join you.
All right. Yeah, you're more than welcomed.
Let's do it. Go
All
Jets,
right.
everybody. See you guys on Thursday night.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.